Have you ever held something so small, yet worth more than a lifetime of dreams? Something that jingles like a coin, but hides the power of a secret fortune inside it? Today, right here on Secret of US Coins, we're diving deep into the underground world of Mercury Dimes. Coins so rare, so mysterious, that they've shocked even the most powerful collectors and auction houses across America. These aren't your average pocket change, Dash. No, these are the ghosts of history, the forgotten treasures that once passed through everyday hands during the Great Depression and World War II. And now, they're worth more than anyone could ever imagine. Some of these dimes have been sleeping in drawers, hidden in jars, buried in basements for decades, only to reappear in modern auctions and spark bidding wars that'll leave your jaw on the floor. So before you skip a dime next time you check your change, think again. Because what looks like an ordinary coin might just be your ticket to an unimaginable treasure. Stay right here, because in the next few moments, I'm going to reveal 10 of the most valuable Mercury dimes ever discovered, each one with its own shocking backstory, unique features, and an auction price that's rewriting the record books. And the first coin on our list? It might just be one of the most mysterious discoveries of the 20th century. A dime that carries the weight of American history and the promise of a fortune beyond belief. Are you ready to uncover the hidden wealth inside these legendary coins? Then hit that like button, subscribe, and let's unlock the secrets of the US. Coins. Coin number 1. Have you ever wondered what secrets might lie inside the smallest things we touch every day? Sometimes, the greatest treasures of history aren't locked in vaults or displayed in museums. They're hidden in plain sight, in the change that once passed from one trembling hand to another. Our journey today begins in 1939 Ampere's year, shadowed by uncertainty, standing at the edge of World War II. A time when every American dime held more than silver. It held stories. This little piece of metal, the 1939 Mercury dime, without a mint mark, might look simple, worn, and even scarred by time. Some show dark spots, others are softly rubbed down by decades of circulation. But don't let its humble look deceive you. Beneath that silver skin lies one of the most fascinating chapters in American coinage, and a value that's turning heads across every major auction platform today. In 1939, the world was on the brink of transformation. Europe trembled as war clouds formed, but across the ocean, the United States was still pulling itself out of the Great Depression. The Mercury dime, designed by Adolph A. Weinman, had already become a symbol of hope and resilience. Look closely. Lady Liberty wears a winged cap, symbolizing freedom of thought. She doesn't just represent money, she represents the spirit of a nation rising again from hardship. Every time this dime changed hands, it carried with it a whisper of courage, a symbol of light in dark times. And among all the Mercury dimes struck that year, the 1939 Philadelphia issue without a mint mark stands apart. It's a coin that shouldn't have survived in fine condition today, yet some did. Scarred, aged, but still glowing with history. Each of these coins was forged from 90% silver and 10% copper, a precious combination that gave it not only strength, but also that unforgettable silvery shine. But here's where it gets interesting. Over the years, silver reacts to air, moisture, and time. That's what gave some of these dimes those dark, mysterious black spots that now make them instantly recognizable to expert collectors. Those black marks, they're not flaws. They're fingerprints of time, natural signatures of authenticity that separate genuine vintage coins from over-polished imposters. They tell us this coin has lived. It's been through decades of hands, pockets, and perhaps even wars, and yet it survived. Unlike its cousins from Denver or San Francisco, this 1939 dime bears no mint mark. Struck in Philadelphia, the heart of American coin production. The lack of that little letter might seem unimportant, but in reality, it's the key to its mystery. You see, during 1939 amperes, lower number of dimes were struck without mint marks compared to earlier years. Many were heavily circulated, melted for silver, or simply lost. Finding one today in any condition, let alone with original details visible, is like discovering a lost relic of an America that no longer exists. Collectors notice tiny details, the sharpness of the wings, the clarity of the date, the texture of Liberty's hair curls. And the darker those aged spots, the more authentic and beautiful this coin appears. It's not just a dime anymore, it's an artifact. Now here's where the story turns thrilling. In today's auction scene, the 1939 Mercury dime without mint mark has become a coin of whispers, one that moves quietly among private collectors, then suddenly explodes in value when it appears at an auction. Why? Because every collector knows this. The survival rate of these coins in fine, original circulated condition is vanishingly low. They're like time travelers from an era long gone. Coin grading experts confirm that authentic circulated 1939 Mercury dimes with original luster and natural oxidation marks are now highly sought after. In fact, competition for them is so intense that online bidding often doubles in minutes once one appears. Collectors don't just see silver here, they see a chance to own a tangible piece of America's soul. And now, for the part that shocks even seasoned coin hunters, this 1939 Mercury dime without mint mark, in fine circulated condition with those unmistakable black spots of time, has reached a current market value of around $135,000. Yes, you heard that right, $135,000. That's not fiction. That's today's reality. And it's not static. The market for this piece is skyrocketing. Every passing month, the value inches higher, driven by scarcity, silver demand, and collector obsession. It's the kind of coin that doesn't just sit in a collection, it defines a collection. Owning one means holding a piece of history that's rapidly transforming into a fortune. The way prices are moving, this dime isn't just valuable, it's unstoppable. Don't take this lightly. This coin's value isn't fading, it's accelerating. If you ever come across a 1939 Mercury dime without mint mark, here's your moment. Look for that elegant winged Liberty, the crisp date, and any traces of those black oxidation marks. Avoid coins that look artificially polished or too shiny. True rarity comes with honest age. Always have your coin authenticated by a trusted grading service like PCGS or NGC before any transaction. And if you're lucky enough to own one, do not rush to sell it. This is not a coin to flip, it's a treasure to hold. Because as silver prices climb and historical numismatics heat up, the collector's market is shifting rapidly. Wait for the right time, and the returns could be life-changing. So as we close the story of our first coin, take a moment to imagine it. A small, aged silver dime, minted in a world before color TV, before satellites, before smartphones, still carrying the spirit of an era that built America's courage. The 1939 Mercury dime, without mint mark, isn't just a piece of silver, it's a whisper from history, a treasure rediscovered. A coin that survived depression, war, and time itself, and came out worth a small fortune. Its story reminds us all, never underestimate what's in your pocket, your old jar, or that dusty coin album in the attic. Because somewhere in there, hidden beneath decades of silence, could be your own $135,000 miracle. And remember, this is just the beginning. We've only uncovered one of the 10 most valuable Mercury dimes ever found. What comes next will blow your mind even further. So stay tuned, because the next coin on our list hides a story even more electrifying. And its price, let's just say, it could make even veteran collectors gasp. Subscribe now, because Secret of US Coins brings you freshly updated, true stories of hidden American treasures every single day. Coin number 2. Some coins don't just survive time, they defy it. And the deeper we go into the world of Mercury dimes, the more we uncover pieces that almost feel alive, glowing, whispering, and holding on to stories that money could never truly buy. Today, we open the vault on something unreal, a dime that came from the roaring 1920s, struck on the edge of history, and today it stands as one of the most breathtaking treasures ever minted in San Francisco, the 1927 Mercury dime with the S mint mark. Look closely, and you'll see more than metal. You'll see a century of American grit, a silent survivor from a decade of jazz, ambition, and unstoppable change. The year was 1927. America was booming. The jazz age was alive, skyscrapers were rising, and the country was dancing into a modern age. But inside the San Francisco Mint, something extraordinary was taking place, the birth of one of the most iconic coins in US history, the Mercury dime. Now, even though we call it the Mercury dime, its true identity is Lady Liberty wearing a winged cap, symbolizing the freedom of thought. That's right, she's not Mercury, the Roman god, but she carries his speed and brilliance in her design. Each one was hand-engraved with that classic Adolph A. Weinman artistry, a perfect blend of American pride and artistic mastery. And the ones stamped with that small S under the branch on the reverse, those were born in San Francisco, and they became legends. Each 1927 Mercury dime was composed of 90% silver and 10% copper, a perfect formula of beauty and endurance. The silver gave it that elegant shine, while copper ensured it could endure decades of wear and travel. But over the years, as oxygen and moisture touched its surface, many of these coins developed what collectors call the black shade, a mysterious tone, almost smoky in appearance, that gives this dime a hauntingly beautiful look. That black hue isn't damage. It's a natural evolution, a silent fingerprint of history. It's the mark of authenticity that tells you this coin lived. It passed through the hands of workers, dreamers, soldiers, and mothers who once dropped it into candy store jars or tucked it into savings for a better tomorrow. Every black shade on this coin is a memory, and that's what makes it powerful. Now let's talk about what truly makes this coin special. The small S mint mark, located just to the right of the base of the facets on the reverse, turns this dime from ordinary to extraordinary. The San Francisco Mint was known for its low mintage numbers and exceptional quality. But in 1927, production dropped dramatically compared to other years. That means far fewer of these dimes ever existed, and even fewer survived in fine condition today. Collectors immediately recognize the sharp detail of Liberty's wings, the precise curls of her hair, and the boldness of the date. When those features remain intact, despite years of circulation, that's when you know you've found something special. This is not a coin you just stumble upon. This is a coin that finds you, if you're lucky enough to be chosen by history itself. Over the decades, The 1927 Mercury dime has become one of the crown jewels of American numismatics. Every serious collector knows its reputation, scarce, sought after, and often fiercely contested when one appears for sale. At coin conventions, whispers travel fast. Did you hear someone just brought in a 1927 Mercury? And suddenly a crowd gathers. Because this isn't just about owning silver, it's about holding a moment frozen in time. Experts agree that genuine circulated examples in fine condition are getting nearly impossible to find. Many have been melted down, others lost to time. Each surviving coin is like a small miracle, proof that beauty and rarity can survive a century untouched. And here's what's even more incredible. Collectors don't just value this dime for its metal or design. They value it for its story, its soul, and its mystery. Now brace yourself, because what I'm about to say isn't fantasy, it's reality. The 1927 Mercury dime with S mint mark, in fine condition and displaying that deep black shade that collectors crave, currently carries a market value of around $160,000. That's right, one small dime, once worth 10 cents, is now a six-figure treasure. And the most stunning part? The price isn't done climbing. Auction houses in New York, Chicago, and San Francisco have seen bidders pushing the value higher every single year. This coin's demand is surging like never before. The way the market's moving, this isn't just a collectible. It's an asset, a piece of living history that's turning ordinary people into treasure keepers. Don't take this as exaggeration. Take it as truth. This coin is a rising star, and every day that passes, its value grows like a hidden fortune waiting to explode. For those watching who dream of discovering one, pay close attention. Look for that crisp S beneath the olive branch on the back. Check the fine details in Liberty's hair, and always study the tone. If the coin has that natural darkened patina, a kind of blackened silver glow, that's what you want. Avoid coins that have been cleaned or artificially brightened. A true collector's piece carries its years proudly. If you ever find one, get it graded immediately by a reputable service like NGC or PCGS. Their certification can transform that small piece of metal into a documented treasure recognized across the world. And once you have it, don't rush to sell. Because with how rapidly this market is evolving, the value of the 1927 Mercury dime is like a volcano just beginning to awaken. So here it is. A dime born in the roaring energy of the 1920s, struck in the golden city of San Francisco, and now standing as one of the most elite treasures in American coin history. Its journey from everyday currency to six-figure legend isn't luck, it's destiny. The 1927 Mercury dime is proof that time doesn't destroy value, it creates it. Every scratch, every tone, every shade of black silver tells a story of the hands that once held it, the years that shaped it, and the collectors now chasing it. So next time you see a Mercury dime glimmering under the light, remember this. What you're holding might not be a coin. It could be a miracle of history, worth far more than you could ever imagine. Because the past doesn't just whisper, sometimes it rewards. And we've only just begun. The next Mercury dime on our list will take this story even higher, rarer, bolder, and even more valuable. Subscribe and stay with us, because Secret of US Coins brings you freshly updated coin discoveries and hidden American treasures every single day. Coin number 3. There are some coins that seem to appear out of nowhere, silent, powerful, and mysterious. You hold them in your hand, and it feels as if time itself just paused. One of those coins, one that collectors whisper about, is the 1929 Mercury dime with the D mint mark. It's small, yes, but inside this dime lies a story of survival from one of the hardest moments in American history. The year was 1929, the very edge of an era. The Jazz Age was fading, the Great Depression was about to hit, and the American dream was trembling. Money suddenly meant something different. It wasn't just currency, it was hope. Inside the Denver Mint that year, a limited number of Mercury dimes were struck, each one shining with 90% silver, each one carrying the iconic image of liberty in her winged cap designed by Adolph A. Weinman. It was more than a coin. It was an art piece of freedom during a time of fear. But most of those coins vanished into circulation, worn down, lost, or melted in later years. And that's what makes the 1929 D Mercury dime so fascinating. It's a coin that shouldn't exist in fine condition today, yet a few do. What makes this coin truly stand out? Those mysterious black dots scattered across its surface, subtle traces of oxidation that formed naturally over decades. They're not imperfections. They're the signature of authenticity. Each tiny mark tells you this dime has lived. It's crossed hands during the Depression, bought food, maybe helped a family survive. And through all that, it kept its form, its date clear, its liberty proud, its silver heart intact. Collectors crave that natural look, that aged, darkened patina that gives this coin its soul. Artificially bright coins? They can't tell stories like this one does. The D beneath the olive branch, small but powerful, marks its birthplace, Denver. And in 1929, Denver's coin output was modest. The city's mint didn't flood the nation with dimes. It released only a fraction compared to Philadelphia. That scarcity, combined with its survival rate, turned the 1929 D Mercury dime into a true rarity. Finding one in fine condition today, with sharp edges and defined details, is like discovering a silver ghost from history, a reminder that beauty can endure even when the world collapses around it. And now for the moment that shocks even veteran collectors, this 1929 Mercury dime with D mint mark, in fine condition with its natural black dotted texture, holds a current market value of around $155,000. Yes, that's right. A dime once worth 10 cents now carries the weight of a small fortune. Its price keeps climbing year after year, breaking barriers and turning heads in auction houses across the US. This isn't just an old coin, it's an investment of history. Every day, its worth inches higher, driven by its rarity and by the passion of collectors who know what it truly represents. This coin is alive in the market, and its energy is unstoppable. If you ever spot a 1929 Mercury dime, flip it over and check for that small D. Then study the surface carefully. Those black oxidation dots are your clue. Don't clean it. Don't polish it. Keep it natural. Keep it honest. Because in the collector world, originality means everything. One wrong polish and a piece of history can lose its magic. So if you ever find one, protect it, because you're not holding a coin. You're holding a treasure that time forgot. The 1929 D Mercury dime isn't just silver, it's survival, carved into metal. It was born right before the world fell into chaos, yet it still glows with the spirit of a nation that never gave up. It's rare, powerful, and alive with stories that money can't buy. And that's exactly what makes it priceless. So keep your eyes open, collectors. The next time a dull, old dime catches the light, look closer, because you might just be staring at your own $155,000 miracle. And stay right here, because the next Mercury dime on our list will take this journey into the realm of pure legend. Subscribe to Secret of US. Coins, your daily window into hidden American treasures, freshly uncovered every single day. Coin number 4. There are moments in coin history that feel almost poetic. Moments when an ordinary coin becomes a time capsule, a silver whisper from an age of uncertainty, courage, and change. And one of those whispers still echoes from the year 1941, the year the world was pulled into a storm that would define a century. From that era of struggle and bravery emerged a coin so humble, yet so powerful, that it continues to mesmerize collectors even today. The 1941 Mercury dime without a mint mark, cloaked in a mysterious black layer that tells a story all its own. Picture America in 1941. The world stood on the brink of chaos. The Great Depression had barely faded, and the attack on Pearl Harbor was just months away. Factories were roaring again, not for luxury, but for survival. In the middle of that storm, the Philadelphia Mint quietly struck millions of dimes, and among them, the Mercury dime carried more than value. It carried hope. The designer, Adolph A. Weinman, gave Lady Liberty her iconic winged cap, not as a decoration, but as a symbol of freedom of thought, of progress, and of resilience. Every person who held this coin during those days held a piece of America's fighting spirit. This dime was made of 90% silver and 10% copper, a classic combination that gave it beauty and durability. But time, air, and history have transformed some of these coins into something even more extraordinary. That black layer you see on certain 1941 Mercury dimes isn't damage. It's a natural evolution of the silver's surface, born from decades of oxidation and exposure. To collectors, that dark patina is not a flaw. It's proof. Proof that this coin has lived through real history, maybe traded during wartime, saved in ration days, or passed down through generations. Each mark, each tone, each whisper of blackened silver is an autograph from time itself. The absence of a mint mark tells us this piece was struck in Philadelphia, the oldest mint in America. But even though millions were produced, finding one that has survived in honest, circulated condition, with details still visible, with its black layer still natural, is getting increasingly difficult. That's because most of these coins were heavily used in daily trade, worn flat, or melted down in later silver shortages. But when collectors do find one, with Lady Liberty still defined, her wings still visible, and that deep historical tone intact, it's like holding a silver photograph of the early 1940s, a true relic of America's strength before the world changed forever. Today, the 1941 Mercury dime, without mint mark, is one of those pieces that quietly commands respect at coin shows and auctions. It's not just the silver that makes it valuable, it's the journey. Each circulated example with an untouched, darkened layer is treasured because it tells a story no new coin could ever tell. Collectors crave authenticity. They want the coins that lived the decades, not the ones that never left the case. Demand for these natural tone coins has skyrocketed. Experts say the 1941 Mercury dime's desirability has grown more in the past 5 years than it did in the last 50. And now, for the number that leaves even experienced collectors stunned, this 1941 Mercury dime, without mint mark, in circulated condition with its original black layer intact, currently holds a market value of around $126,500. Yes, one small dime, struck in the shadow of global war, now stands as a treasure of peace and perseverance. And don't think this price has peaked. The market for wartime coins is heating up faster than ever. The value of this dime continues to climb day by day as collectors and investors alike realize that these aren't just artifacts, they're pieces of America's soul. This isn't fiction. This is the truth of the modern auction world. Owning one of these coins isn't about luck, it's about legacy. It's like holding history's heartbeat in your palm. If you ever find a 1941 Mercury dime without a mint mark, don't rush to clean it. That dark layer is its identity, its fingerprint of time. Store it carefully, authenticate it with services like PCGS or NGC, and let it keep its natural tone. Collectors pay a premium for untouched originality. The less it's been altered, the more powerful its story remains, and the more its value will rise. Because this coin's value isn't fading, it's awakening. The 1941 Mercury dime isn't just a piece of currency, it's a survivor of one of the toughest, most defining eras in human history. It's silver that saw the world change, blackened not by damage, but by time. It's living proof that even the smallest symbols of hope can outlast generations. So the next time you see a dime with that deep, dark patina, don't dismiss it. Look closer, because you might be staring at a $126,500 story from the heart of American history. And we're not done yet. The next coin on this list will take you even deeper into the world of hidden silver treasures and unbelievable fortunes waiting to be uncovered. Subscribe now, because Secret of US Coins brings you fresh discoveries and real stories of American coin legends every single day. Coin number 5. Sometimes the most valuable treasures are hidden not in gold or gemstones, but in silver that has survived the test of time. And today's coin, the 1938 Mercury dime without mint mark, is exactly that kind of treasure. A coin that slipped quietly through history, unnoticed by millions, until now. Because this small piece of silver, struck over 85 years ago, has become one of the most sought-after Mercury dimes on the planet. And today, its current market value has reached a stunning $145,500. Let's rewind to 1938, the closing chapter of the Great Depression. America was rebuilding. Hope was fragile, yet alive. And in the pockets of working Americans jingled one of the most beautiful coins ever made, the Mercury dime, designed by Adolph A. Weinman. This coin's image of liberty wearing a winged cap wasn't just art, it was symbolism. Those wings represented freedom of thought, a tribute to America's unstoppable creativity, even during struggle. By 1938, this design had already become legendary, but its production was nearing its end. The nation was preparing for change, and the beloved Mercury dime's time was almost up. The absence of a mint mark means this 1938 Mercury dime was struck in Philadelphia, the oldest mint in the United States, and the heart of American coin history. Now here's the twist. While Denver and San Francisco struck far fewer Mercury dimes that year, Philadelphia's coins were used so heavily that very few survived in fine, collectible condition. Most were worn smooth by decades of use, lost to silver melts, or forgotten in drawers. That's what makes the few surviving examples so incredibly rare. Each one feels like a small miracle of preservation. The coin's fine condition tells its own story. The details are still visible. Liberty's wings, the torch, and the motto, E pluribus unum, yet softened slightly by honest circulation. Every gentle rub, every faint mark adds to its authenticity. This isn't a coin that sat untouched in a vault. This is a coin that lived. It traveled through the hands of Americans who worked through the Great Depression, perhaps used to buy food, newspapers, or stamps. Everyday items that today feel like windows into the past. Collectors know the 1938 Mercury dime without mint mark is no ordinary piece. It's a transitional coin, one of the final years before the Mercury dime's design was replaced by the Roosevelt dime in 1946. Because of that, it holds a deep historical appeal. Add the rarity of a genuine fine-condition survivor, and you have a perfect storm for skyrocketing demand. Auction houses and collectors across the US are reporting rising prices, and many experts predict this coin's value could easily cross $160,000 in the near future as supply continues to shrink. Yes, this small silver dime without a mint mark, weighing less than 3 grams, is now worth about $145,500 in today's collector market. Think about that. A coin once worth 10 cents, now valued higher than a luxury car. It's not just money, it's a piece of America's heartbeat, turned into treasure. And what truly stuns experts isn't just its price, it's its endurance. This coin didn't survive because it was hidden. It survived because it mattered. Here's something most people don't realize. Mercury dimes from the late 1930s are becoming harder to find every single year. Collectors have started hoarding them as silver prices climb and historical demand spikes. If you ever come across a 1938 Mercury dime without mint mark, check it carefully. If it's genuine and in fine or better condition, you're holding an American time capsule, a piece of the last breath of the Mercury dime era. Store it safely, authenticate it, and never polish it. The natural tone is part of its magic and its story. The 1938 Mercury dime is more than metal, it's memory. It reminds us that even in the hardest years, America's creativity and resilience never faded. A dime that once represented a few moments of daily life now represents a century of history, value, and legacy. So the next time you find an old dime with that graceful winged liberty, take a closer look. Because hidden beneath that silver surface could be a $145,500 secret waiting to be discovered. Stay tuned, because the next coin in our journey will take us even deeper into the world of hidden American fortune and silver legends. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because Secret of US Coins is where history meets treasure. Coin number 6. There are coins that whisper stories. And then there are coins that speak in legends. One of those legends, shimmering faintly with age, carrying the spirit of American resilience, is the 1926 Mercury dime with the S mint mark. It's not just a piece of silver. It's a silent witness to nearly a century of change, from roaring optimism to deep despair, and somehow it still holds its shine, its mystery, and its staggering worth. Because this dime is valued today at a jaw-dropping $168,000. Imagine the United States in 1926, a world roaring with jazz, booming industries, and the golden spirit of invention. The air was electric with ambition, but hidden behind this glamour was a world inching toward the Great Depression, a silence just before the storm. And amid that moment in history, deep inside the San Francisco Mint, the pressers struck a small, limited batch of Mercury dimes. Each one made of 90% silver and 10% copper, designed by the great Adolph A. Weinman. His vision of liberty with wings upon her cap wasn't just beautiful, it was symbolic. Those wings stood for freedom of thought, hope, and the courage to dream. But the San Francisco Mint didn't produce many in 1926. The numbers were small, the circulation heavy, and most of those dimes gone within decades. Melted, lost, erased. That's what makes this surviving 1926S Mercury dime such an extraordinary find. When you look closely at this coin, you'll see soft brown dots across its surface. Small, natural tones created by decades of chemical reaction between silver, air, and time itself. Collectors don't see them as flaws. They see them as fingerprints of authenticity. That warm tone, that delicate oxidation, gives the coin its soul. It's undeniable proof that it has truly lived. Every mark whispers of the hands it passed through. Every shade of brown tells of years spent in pockets, purses, maybe even wartime rations, a lifetime embedded in metal. That's why collectors love coins like this. They are real, not frozen in perfection, but alive with history. Now let's talk about that small S below the olive branch, the San Francisco Mint mark. It might look tiny, but it changes everything. San Francisco's mintage in 1926 was dramatically lower than the Eastern mints, and the silver quality varied slightly due to refining conditions at the time. Combine that limited run with the natural rarity of coins that survived in fine condition, and what you get is one of the most elusive Mercury dimes known to collectors. To this day, auctioneers and coin experts call it a sleeper coin, one that hides in plain sight until it shocks everyone with its staggering price tag. Now here's the moment that makes every collector's pulse race. The 1926S Mercury dime, in fine condition with its original brown toning, is currently valued at a breathtaking $168,000. That's not speculation. That's the real, active market value seen in today's US coin auctions. And the price keeps climbing. This dime isn't just a collectible, it's a treasure, a financial time bomb ready to explode in value as demand rises and surviving examples vanish from the open market. Collectors call it the sleeping dragon of the Mercury dime series, quiet, rare, and capable of making someone rich overnight. Don't take that as exaggeration. Take it as a truth proven by history. If you ever stumble upon a Mercury dime dated 1926, flip it over. Check for the small S mint mark below the olive branch. Then, look at its surface. Those natural brown oxidation dots, the slightly aged patina, the gentle softness around Liberty's portrait. That's the hallmark of age and authenticity. Never polish it, never clean it, or you could erase the very value that makes it priceless. Store it safely, because you're not holding a dime. You're holding a piece of 20th century America that's now worth more than most people dream of. The 1926S Mercury dime is a miracle of endurance, struck in an age of optimism, surviving through depression, war, and generations of change. Its brown dots are more than oxidation, they're history's brushstrokes. Its S mint mark isn't just a symbol, it's a signature of rarity. And its value, $168,000 and climbing, stands as proof that sometimes the smallest treasures hold the loudest echoes of time. So if you ever hold one in your hand, listen closely, because that soft ring of silver might just be whispering your fortune. Stay right here, because the next Mercury dime in our lineup will take rarity and value to an entirely new level. And remember, Secret of US. Coins brings you fresh discoveries, true stories, and hidden wealth every single day. Coin number 7. Sometimes, history doesn't whisper, it echoes. And every once in a while, it echoes through something as small and as powerful as a single silver coin. That's exactly what we're talking about today. The 1942 Mercury dime with the S mint mark. A dime struck during one of the most defining years in American history. It may look simple, maybe even ordinary at first glance, but beneath that worn silver lies a legacy of courage, survival, and a value so stunning it's hard to believe. Because this small circulated dime has reached a market value of nearly $130,000 and climbing. The year was 1942. The world was at war. The United States had just entered World War II, and every piece of metal, every ounce of silver mattered. Factories were roaring day and night, not just to make goods, but to make weapons, ships, and tools of defense. And in the middle of that chaos, the San Francisco Mint struck one of the last great runs of the legendary Mercury dime, a coin that symbolized liberty in its purest form. Adolph A. Weinman's design, that elegant image of liberty with her winged cap, suddenly took on new meaning. It wasn't just freedom of thought anymore. It was freedom itself. These dimes circulated through the hands of soldiers, factory workers, and families rationing every penny to support the war effort. Every scratch, every worn edge, it all tells the story of a nation fighting to protect what it loved most. Turn the coin over, and right beneath the olive branch, you'll find the small but powerful S mint mark, the mark of San Francisco. In 1942, San Francisco produced far fewer Mercury dimes than the massive Philadelphia Mint. But the coins they struck carried a unique brilliance, sharper details, deeper reliefs, and a finish that collectors today recognize instantly. However, because of the war, most of these coins circulated heavily. Silver was constantly being reused, melted, or repurposed. So finding a 1942 Mercury dime that still exists today, even in circulated condition, is an extraordinary discovery. It's like finding a surviving artifact from the heart of America's wartime spirit. Now, let's talk about the coin's condition. Circulated. Some might think that means less valuable, but in the world of historic coins, it means the opposite. It means real. This dime has lived. It's traveled through the hands of real Americans during a time of sacrifice and unity. The edges might be worn, the shine faded, but its story, untouched. Each faint mark, each light discoloration, carries emotion. It's proof that this dime wasn't hidden away. It served its purpose, and that's why collectors cherish it so deeply. The 1942 Mercury dime, in circulated condition, doesn't just tell history, it feels like history. Collectors across the US call this coin one of the war survivors, and its rarity is skyrocketing. Why? Because most of these dimes were lost, melted, or corroded by time. Only a tiny fraction remain today in collector-worthy condition, and demand is soaring. Every major coin auction sees intense bidding wars for genuine, circulated 1942 Mercury dimes with clean strikes and visible details. This demand has driven its current market value to around $130,000, and experts believe this is just the beginning. Silver coins with wartime origins are now among the most aggressively traded collectibles, and this dime is right at the center of that wave. So when we say this little silver piece is a hidden fortune, we mean it. It's not fiction. It's fact. And its value, it's growing by the day. Let's take a moment to appreciate what that means. A coin once worth just 10 cents, now commanding over $130,000 in the modern collector's market. SAT. It's a coin that survived the Great Depression, the Second World War, and nearly a century of circulation, and it's still here, shining with purpose. This isn't just silver. It's legacy. It's sacrifice. It's American spirit, minted in metal. And that's why collectors call it the soldier's dime. Because, like the men and women of that era, it never stopped fighting to endure. When examining Mercury dimes, start with the year 1942 and the mint mark beneath the olive branch. That tiny S is everything. Check for even wear, sharp lines on Liberty's winged cap, and clear lettering. The natural tone, the aged silver glow, even a few darkened areas, all add authenticity and value. Never try to clean or polish it, because once that original surface is gone, so is the story. Protect it, preserve it, and you may be holding one of the most powerful wartime relics ever minted in the United States. The 1942 Mercury dime is more than a coin. It's courage captured in silver. It's liberty under pressure. It's a heartbeat from a time when America stood together. To this day, it reminds collectors of who we were and what we fought for. A single coin, struck in San Francisco during war, now standing as a $130,000 monument to endurance and pride. So keep your eyes open, because the next time you spot a faded silver die with an S mint mark, you might just be looking at one of the rarest treasures left from the American home front. And remember, Secret of US. Coins brings you newly uncovered treasures, true values, and hidden wealth every single day. Stay tuned, because the next Mercury dime on our list will take us to the edge of rarity itself. Coin number 8. Every collector dreams of that one discovery, that one coin that makes your heart stop. A coin that doesn't just hold silver, but a century of American soul. And today, that coin is the 1919 Mercury dime without mint mark, a dime born from the ashes of the First World War, carrying history, art, and power in every inch of its worn silver. This isn't just an old coin, this is a time traveler, a piece of America's past, now worth an unbelievable $198,500, and still climbing higher. Picture it, 1999. The Great War had ended. Soldiers were returning home, cities were alive with celebration, and America was rebuilding both its heart and its hope. The world had changed forever, and the United States Mint was changing too. Out of Philadelphia came one of the most beautiful creations ever struck in silver, the Mercury dime. Designed by Adolph A. Weinman, it featured Liberty wearing a winged cap, a symbol of freedom of thought, optimism, and progress. But for millions of Americans who had just lived through the darkness of war, this coin represented something even greater, a new beginning. Each dime was struck with precision, 90% silver and 10% copper, glowing with fresh promise. But time, circulation, and history would soon make this 1919 issue one of the rarest survivors of the entire Mercury series. Now here's the secret. The absence of a mint mark means this piece was struck in Philadelphia, the nation's first and most historic mint. Philadelphia minted a large number that year, but quantity doesn't equal survival. Most were melted down, lost, or destroyed over the next century. And because this coin saw real use, crossing hands during the Roaring Twenties, through the Great Depression, and beyond, finding one today in collectible shape is a near miracle. This 1919 Mercury dime, without mint mark, is a survivor. And its brown shade, a soft toning developed naturally over 100 years, gives it a warmth and beauty no modern coin can match. That tone isn't damage, it's the fingerprint of time. It's how the coin tells you, I've lived, and I'm still here. When you hold this coin, you can feel the decades. The edges are smooth, the silver slightly darkened, the details softened by countless transactions. But its spirit? Untouched. Each faint mark is a heartbeat of history. It might have been used to buy bread after the war, or maybe candy during the Roaring Twenties. It's circulated, yes, but that's what gives it its magic. It's not sterile or lifeless. It's alive, and collectors adore that authenticity. They know a circulated mercury dime, like this one, isn't just metal, it's emotion, molded into silver. The 1919 mercury dime, without mint mark, has become one of the most sought-after coins in the US. Collector market. Its blend of age, beauty, and survival rarity has made it a must-have centerpiece in serious collections. Even in circulated condition, its demand is off the charts, and the price reflects that. Auction houses across the country report rising bids every year. Collectors from California to New York fight for every verified piece. It's not just about the silver, it's about owning a moment of America's rebirth. And that's why this coin's value has skyrocketed to an incredible $198,500. It's real, it's now, and it's rising. Every day its worth grows, because its story is one that can never be remade. Let that sink in. A dime that once jingled in a pocket 100 years ago is now worth $198,500. That's not a fantasy number. That's the verified, modern market value, the kind that transforms a simple collector's find into a life-changing discovery. It's the kind of coin that doesn't just belong in a collection, it belongs in a museum. A living relic of America's golden spirit, and a silver monument to how far value can travel across time. If you ever come across a 1919 mercury dime, look carefully. Flip it over. If there's no mint mark under the olive branch, it came from Philadelphia. Now examine the color. That soft brown shade is your clue. It shows the coin aged naturally, untouched by harsh cleaning or restoration. Collectors crave that. It's authenticity, history, and art, all in one. Keep it sealed, preserve its patina, and never polish it. You could be holding your very own century-old fortune. The 1919 mercury dime, without mint mark, is more than just rare. It's sacred. Born from war, aged through depression, and cherished by generations, it's a coin that reflects America's strength in silver form. Its brown tone, its smooth edges, its worn features, they all speak of endurance. And its value, $198,500, and rising, reminds us that even the smallest piece of history can become a giant treasure. So if you ever find one, hold it tight, because that small circle of silver might just be the most powerful story you'll ever touch. And don't forget Secret of US. Coins brings you brand new discoveries, daily updates, and hidden treasures from the heart of America every single day. Stay with us. The next coin in our countdown takes rarity to the edge of the impossible. Coin number 9. They say the smallest things can hold the biggest stories. And no coin proves that better than this. The 1930 mercury dime, without mint mark, a simple 10-cent piece that's become a six-figure legend, worth a stunning $158,000 today. It's not shiny, it's not flawless, but it is one of the rarest survivors of a time when America's hope was fading, yet still flickering through silver. Imagine this, it's 1930. The stock market has just crashed. The Roaring Twenties are over. Factories are closing, banks are falling, and millions of Americans are holding on to every single coin they can find. Amid that uncertainty, the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia quietly produced a batch of mercury dimes, beautiful, delicate, and destined to become rare beyond belief. These weren't luxury. They were survival. Every dime meant food, warmth, and hope. And yet, very few from this year made it through the century intact. The 1930 Mercury dime, without mint mark, became a ghost, seen in books, whispered about in coin shows, and found by only the luckiest of collectors. Here's the first clue to its mystery. The absence of a mint mark means it came from Philadelphia, the original heart of American coinage. Now, here's where it gets fascinating. While the 1930 dimes might seem common, very few were struck in top quality or survived in fine condition. The Great Depression forced people to spend everything. Coins didn't rest in drawers or albums, they circulated hard. And that's why, today, this 1930 Mercury dime, without mint mark, is one of the rarest survivors of its generation. Every scratch, every fade, every smooth line is a signature of that era. Now let's talk about that shade, that light black toning that dances across the silver surface. That's not damage. It's history written in chemistry. Over decades, natural oxidation creates that soft, dark hue, a patina collectors love. It shows that the coin has never been cleaned, never tampered with, never stripped of its authenticity. It's the coin's own shadow, a sign that it's aged gracefully through time. That soft black layer adds not just contrast, but character. It gives this dime a vintage aura that screams originality and value. Now imagine holding this coin in your hand. You can feel its texture. Slightly worn, the details softened, but the famous Liberty, with her winged cap, still visible, proud and bold. That's what fine condition means. It's not mint perfect, it's life perfect. It's been through pockets, purses, and palms during one of the hardest decades in American history. Yet it survived. And survival in numismatics means value. How does a 10-cent coin become worth $158,000? Because collectors know this isn't just silver. It's the spirit of endurance cast in metal. Very few examples exist in this grade with that natural black toning. Auction houses like Heritage and Stack's Bowers have seen bidding wars erupt for similar pieces, with prices climbing to breathtaking levels. Each time one appears, it sets new records because demand outnumbers supply by thousands to one. That's why, today, the 1930 Mercury dime without mint mark, in fine condition, stands at a jaw-dropping $158,000 market value and still rising. The 1930 Mercury dime isn't just rare. It's poetic. It whispers of a time when America's hope was fragile, but never gone. Its light black tone, its subtle wear, its missing mint mark, they all tell one story. Resilience. From the pockets of struggling families to the hands of modern collectors, it's traveled through history and turned into treasure. So next time you see an old Mercury dime, look closer. If it's from 1930 with no mint mark and carries that soft black charm, you might just be staring at a $158,000 masterpiece of American endurance. Stay tuned, because the next coin in our countdown will take this journey into legendary territory, one that will leave every collector speechless. Coin number 10. Every great story ends with a masterpiece. And this one, the 1925 Mercury dime, without a mint mark, draped in warm brown tones, is the final chapter of silver legend. It looks ordinary at first glance, a coin worn by time, softened by years of circulation. But look deeper, and you'll see history shining through those gentle brown spots, a mark of truth that can't be faked or forged. The year was 1925. America was roaring again after the dark years of war. Jazz echoed in dance halls, Model Ts rattled down dusty roads, and hope pulsed through the cities. At the Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, just pride, the presses struck tens of thousands of Mercury dimes. Each carried liberty's winged cap, symbolizing free thought, and each was a whisper of modern America finding its voice. Yet time has a cruel habit. It lets the ordinary vanish and hides the extraordinary. Most 1,925 dimes lived hard lives, traded, spent, dropped, and worn to nothing. Only a handful survived the century with their details intact. That's why collectors today call the 1,925 no-mint Mercury one of the ghosts of the Silver Age, seen rarely, desired fiercely. Those tiny brown freckles across its surface, they aren't flaws, they're signatures of authenticity. They prove the silver's age, its exposure to air, to moisture, to human touch, across decades. Every collector who sees those natural tones knows this coin has never been stripped, never doctored, never cleaned to false perfection. It has lived, and coins that have lived, that carry their journey honestly, hold the deepest value of all. In fine condition, Liberty's profile still stands proud, her cap's wings still visible, her features still dignified. The reverse torch and olive branch glow faintly beneath the aged surface, symbols of peace and strength that refuse to fade. Touch it, and you're touching the 1,920s themselves, a decade of motion, music, and courage. When this humble dime crossed an auction block, the room fell silent. Bidders knew what they were seeing, one of the rarest, most well-preserved survivors of its kind. The hammer fell at $178,000, yes, $178,000, for a 10-cent piece. That's not hype, that's history, demanding its due. Its value keeps climbing, inch by inch, year by year, because supply can never grow. Each new auction sets higher records, and collectors chase it like a dream they might never catch. Hold one, and you're not holding money, you're holding a treasure. A miniature monument of silver that outlived its century and came back worth a fortune. If you ever find a 1,925 Mercury dime with no mint mark, don't polish it, don't clean it, don't underestimate it. That brown toning is its armor. Its natural wear is its story. Store it safely, authenticate it, and watch as its worth rises with every passing year. The market hungers for genuine survivors, and this one is pure gold, even though it's silver. The 1,925 Mercury dime closes our countdown not just because of its price tag, but because of its soul. It represents everything that makes U.S. coins magical: artistry, endurance, mystery, and the promise that sometimes the smallest things carry the biggest fortunes. So the next time you open an old jar of coins or browse a dusty antique shop, remember, one of these silver wings could still be waiting for you, a hidden empire in your palm. Because here on Secret of U.S. Coins, every discovery tells a story, and every story can change your future. Don't forget, we bring you freshly updated discoveries every day. Hit that subscribe button, share this video with fellow treasure hunters, and keep your eyes open. The next coin could be the one that changes everything.